Weeks had passed since the traveler vanished, and whispers of his disappearance spread through the nearby village. Search parties combed the forest, but no trace of him was found. The deeper they ventured into the woods, the more they felt something watching them, an eerie presence that made even the bravest hunters hesitant to push further. Eventually, the search was called off and the forest became a place of... Among the villagers, there was an old woman named Elara. She was known for her wisdom and the strange magic that ran through her bloodline. It was said that by touching a person, or even an object, she could glimpse into the past, seeing the shadows of what once was. Many in the village sought her out for her insights, but when it came to the forest, even Elara remained silent. She had felt its darkness, its anger, and she knew something far more sinister than a mere disappearance lay beneath the trees. One day, as Elara sat by the fire, a little girl named Lena came running to her, eyes wide with excitement and fear. She spoke of a glowing tree she had seen while wandering near the edge of the forest. Elara's heart sank. She knew the stories well, and despite her years of avoiding the forest, she felt a pull she could no longer ignore. The next morning, Elara gathered her few belongings, an old staff carved with runes of protection and a pouch of herbs. As she walked deeper into the woods, the air grew thick with a heavy, unnatural quiet. Eventually, she came to the clearing where the glowing tree stood. It was just as the girl had described, tall and ancient, its bark shimmering with an eerie light, its roots sprawling outward like a predator lying in wait. Elara cautiously approached the tree, her heart pounding in her chest. From behind the tree, she saw the small figure of Lena, her innocent face filled with curiosity as she wandered too close. Before Elara could shout a warning, the roots of the tree sprang to life, snaking around the little girl's ankles. Lena gasped, frozen in terror as the roots began to pull her toward the tree's dark trunk. "No!" Elara cried, rushing forward. She grasped her staff and struck the roots with all her strength, but they were relentless, their grip tightening around the child. Desperate, Elara placed her hands on the bark of the tree, feeling its ancient power pulsing through her. She closed her eyes, reaching out with her magic, delving into the tree's past. Visions flooded her mind, images of a time long ago when the forest was alive with the laughter of animals and the songs of birds. The trees stood tall and proud, their branches swaying in harmony with the wind. But then came the destruction. They tore through the forest, felling the tree's friends and family, ripping apart the land that had once thrived. The tree had watched helplessly as its companions were cut down one by one. Grief turned to anger, and anger twisted into something darker, vengeance. From that moment on, the tree vowed to protect the forest in the only way it knew how, by punishing anyone who dared come near. Elara's heart ached as she witnessed the tree's sorrow and rage. She understood now why it had become a force of... She also knew there was still hope, still a way to bring peace to the tortured spirit within the tree. "I understand your pain," Elara whispered, her voice soft and filled with compassion. "You've lost so much, but this little girl is not your enemy. She means you no harm." The tree seemed to hesitate, its roots loosening slightly around Lena. Elara gently touched the bark again, sending warmth and healing energy into the tree's core. She whispered ancient words, a spell of peace and reconciliation, offering the tree a chance to heal from its past wounds. Slowly the roots uncoiled, releasing the girl. Lena stumbled back, unharmed but shaken. Elara guided her away from the tree and they both watched as the eerie glow began to fade. The tree's branches swayed gently, no longer twisted with anger, but with a sense of calm that hadn't been felt in centuries. Elara turned to the tree and spoke softly, "I will tell the villagers of your sorrow, and we will protect this forest. No more harm will come to you or your kin." Over time, the village began to change. Elara educated the people on the importance of the forest and the need to protect it. The villagers learned to live in harmony with nature, respecting the trees and the life that thrived within the woods. They planted new saplings, tended to the forest's needs, and offered prayers of gratitude for its protection. The tree no longer lashed out at those who came near. Its roots remained still, and its branches whispered secrets of peace and harmony instead of vengeance. The forest, once dark and foreboding, began to flourish again, filled with life and light, and the villagers, having learned the importance of respecting nature, knew that their well-being and that of the forest were forever intertwined.